Good afternoon. It's Friday. It's been a crazy day here. We are getting ready to bring back all of our students, technically, but we're still only running half of our schedule, so we're still getting students out of here early and so forth. So it's not going to be normal yet, but we're going to have everyone, our group A and B students, back together in our classrooms on Monday. So today has been everyone rushing around, making sure that we can social distance, and just general craziness around here. So not a bad thing, but also I think definitely stressful for some people. Thankfully, my classroom, I'm set up pretty well. So as we think about what I learned today, it all started with a podcast that I was listening to this morning, and something that came into my mind was this idea that maybe a teacher's job isn't to teach, it is to open a student's eyes. And as I've thought about that throughout the day today, there's just something about teaching that implies that the student can be passive, that the student doesn't have to do anything, that the teacher is doing everything and presenting all the information and so forth. And to me, that's not a good way to learn. Being passive doesn't result typically in learning. It takes action, it takes movement, it takes experience to learn. And if we only look at teachers as those who produce knowledge to pass on to other people, that doesn't mean the students are being active. And I think that's a bad thing. It's kind of like today, I'm having students start thinking about how they're going to build their brands. And I have a student who wants to start a small business, basically selling a product. And he's starting to think about, oh my gosh, if I sell this product, I have to think about how much it's going to cost me to make it. That will then lead me to figure out how much I should sell it for. And as he's thinking about what it will cost to make it, he thinks he has everything accounted for, but then he thinks of something else that will be an expense and so forth. So it's really interesting to see him doing that. And I talked to him about, hey, you might want to go talk to your math teacher and figure out, is there some type of formula that you could use that would best help you figure out how much you should be charging for this product. And to me, and again, I don't want to toot my own horn here because I'm definitely imperfect as a teacher. I have so much room for improvement. But I was so excited to see today that he was understanding that, hey, I need knowledge. There's knowledge that I don't have that I need to go get. And I would love to say that I opened his eyes to that. And the idea that he's now going out seeking knowledge, he's seeing value in math class, and I love that. And this idea that if I'm the almighty giver of knowledge, which I think for a long time that's how teachers have been viewed by teachers, by students, by a lot of people, just because it's always been that way, then my students are limited to what I know. And going back to the example with the student, I have some ideas regarding how a person might come up with a price to sell a product, but do I really have hard and fast, solid evidence that this is the way to do it? No, I don't. And if I am the giver of knowledge and the student can passively sit there and absorb what I'm saying, then that student is limited to what I know about a given subject, topic, etc. And I want to create the desire to learn, the enjoyment of learning in my students, so that they don't look at me as the giver of knowledge. They look at me as a person who guides and directs and leads them to think about what they're doing, who might lead them to other sources of information, but who is there as a supporter, as a coach, etc. So, all of these ideas about, started with this morning, that podcast that made me think about a teacher's job should be to open eyes, not teach. And again, I'm not discounting at all what teachers are. I think teachers are very valuable, and I appreciate the opportunity to teach my students. But I think we sometimes need to help them see that they shouldn't sit back passively. Learning is an active event, engagement, etc. So, hopefully, you've had a good week. I hope that you can relax this weekend, take a little time off, read, watch the leaves turn color, go for a walk, whatever it might be. And next week, we'll see what happens when we bring everyone back. I hope it'll be a good week. Take care and have a good weekend.